What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and today we have got the trailer for Three Hopes, the second entry in Fire Emblem Warriors series that is going to be released this year in June. Three Hopes is set in the universe same as Fire Emblem Three Houses, and it seems like it is going to be an alternate timeline with a different storyline and some new characters. I'm actually quite excited for this game, so I've analyzed this trailer frame by frame for the details you might have missed and some theories I've got that I really want to show you in this trailer breakdown and analysis video, which I hope you all do enjoy. So the trailer starts with two armies marching towards each other, armor knights, soldiers, Pegasus flyers, and this seems to be happening right outside of Garrick Mach, as we do see the symbol of Crest of Cerros here on the entrance gate. If you look closely, there are actually three armies fighting over here. So the army of Edelgard, Dimitri and Claude are all fighting out similar to Gronder Field. Here we see a fallen soldier and beside him there is a flower which gets crushed, and this seems like a purposeful shot to me. These flowers seem to be Anemone Honorine Jawbare, commonly known as a wind flower, which are interestingly a hybrid flower, which are a result of crossing of two or three species of flowers, much like our three lords from different nations which may come together to fight against a common enemy in this game. We see a logo of Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes, which I think is going to be a type of golden route where all three lords come together, each lord representing a hope, as we see in the official box art of the game, where all three lords are standing together compared to the Three Houses box art where their weapons were clashing. We see a really beautiful view of Garrick Mach and we also hear a voice.
The cycle of this world, I will not allow it to perish with you.
This doesn't really seem like any existing Three Houses character's voice to me. This might be a new character in this game, and it could be a new godlike entity that we see on the box art opposite of Sothis. It would make sense that they are a god because of the firmness and the authority that they speak with. In this scene, something seems to be approaching female Violet by sneaking behind her, and seeing her surprised reaction, it could be her first encounter with the new purple-haired enemy that is present on the box art. Only female Violet seems to be involved in this trailer, and even on the box art, she's the only Violet present, so she might be the protagonist, similar to how we only had male Robin and female Corrin in the story mode of the previous Warriors game, but then female Robin and male Corrin were available as unlocks. Now the situation is a bit different here because Violet is actually a silent protagonist, so maybe you could pick male Violet, but it seems to me the former is more likely because in Three Houses box art, both Violets are available, while on this box art only female Violet is visible. The first lord that we see is Edelgard, and you need to notice that she's holding a new axe and not her relic Amir. I have a theory as to why this is, which I'll go on in later section of the video, and we see her in combat with a shield that she also has in her Armored Lord class in Three Houses. If we take a look at the heads up display here, we can see an HP gauge, another gauge that seems to be fully charged and you can press A to activate it. This might be the warrior gauge from the previous entry where you can unleash a powerful attack with your warrior special and it builds up as you defeat more enemies. There's another gauge on the left side of the portrait of our character. We see this gauge later on in the trailer charged up more, so this could be similar to the awakening gauge in the previous entry, which allowed you to get more critical hits and also give you bonuses for wiping out the enemies. We also see a mini map on the upper right corner, and the blue arrows are the ally units, red are the enemy, and you can also see the fourth status from this mini map. Definitely a really handy tool. In this shot, we can see Edelgard talking to someone with purple hair who also has the uniform of Garrick Mach. So Lorenz naturally comes to the mind because of his hair color, and he also has similar outfit design. And Lorenz does side with Edelgard in different routes, and as it is, House Gloucester does have close ties with the Empire, so it does make sense why she's talking to Lorenz. We see Dimitri holding a new sword of some kind, and I think there might be some new alternate weapons that the lords can wield in this game. And this is not going to be the last time that we see the sword in this trailer itself. When we see Dimitri in action, he's actually wielding his relic Eredbar, even though this is clearly time skip as we can tell by his outfit and his hairstyle. And on the heads-up display, there are actually 2 golden lances, likely some sort of limited special attack that he can use from his relic. And I feel like these battles here in the pre-time skip are likely going to be happening on the outskirts of Garreg Mach. Finally, we see Claude, and here, just like Dimitri, he's wielding his relic Fail Not, even in the pre-time skip. So as you can see, Dimitri and Claude both have their relics, only Edelgard has got a different axe.
I seek to destroy the irrational power structure that shackles Fódlan.
If the kingdom is ever to part ways with our bloody past, this is the path we must walk.
I have ambitions, Edelgard. Real ones.
All 3 lords in the pre-time skip in this game have similar motivations that they had in 3 Houses, as it is conveyed by the dialogues in this trailer, but I think that things are going to be changing significantly after a certain point in the game. We then see Edelgard in a completely new design, and this could be the time skip version of her in this game, or maybe in this game it takes place after the pre-time skip of 3 Houses, but also before the 5-year jump, so maybe somewhere in middle, like a half-time skip, and she's talking over Fódlan's map about her troops advancing from the camp. The camp seems to be located on the Great Bridge of Myrden, which seems like a very good strategic spot for a camp, as it is a key location in 3 Houses for many chapters in different routes. And not to mention, you can actually access the Empire as well as the Alliance through this Great Bridge of Myrden. Here we can see the areas in blue which are going to be in our control, and the red ones are going to be occupied by the enemy. On the war map, we do see Eastern Garreg Mach, where we have to fight the Church of Sero's army. There seems to be a ranking-based reward system, as it shows that bullion is going to be rewarded after the S rank is achieved. And if you capture this fort, then you get 1 activity point. So we did have activity points in 3 Houses as well, but obviously this is not going to be having the monastery system. I feel like there are likely different activities that you can do back in your camp, like forging weapons in smithy, temple from the previous warrior game, training grounds where you could level up your characters, likely by using gold. In this cutscene, we are shown the new design of Edelgard, where she looks absolutely amazing. We also get a glimpse of Hubert with his new hairstyle and design, which looks interesting to say the least. And we also see Edelgard having that same axe that we saw before, and even in her official art, she does not have her relic, a mirror. Now, because this game takes place in an alternate timeline, and they have explicitly stated that this is going to be having a different story, the events are probably going to be going differently in this timeline. And as we know, a mirror is actually an artificial relic created by those who slither in the dark, and it also uses agarthium as the material to repair it, compared to the other relics which use emerald steel. In this timeline, it may be that Edelgard never had to get involved with those who slither in the dark, so she never got her relic, a mirror, yet both Claude and Dimitri have their own relics, and that's why she's seen in this trailer with a different axe, which doesn't really use any kind of crest stone, and it's not a traditional relic that we have seen in 3 Houses. However, it does have the crest of Sero's symbol in the middle, so maybe it could be a housing unit for a crest in a modern design. Next up, we see Dimitri in a completely new design. He has got a ponytail this time, and he looks really badass. He still has both of his eyes intact. So again, just like Edelgard may have never gotten a mirror in this timeline, Dimitri may have never lost an eye in this timeline either, or maybe at least at this point in the game. In his official art, he has a sword on him, which we never saw in 3 Houses, and this is the same sword that we saw earlier in the trailer. This sword is likely an important weapon because Dimitri is just so powerful that he breaks the ordinary swords in training, so this has to be some kind of relic or a special sword. Dimitri then proceeds to attack Claude, and Hilda blocks his attack to save Claude like a true homie, and she also seems to have a different design than 3 Houses because here she's got a cape and red boots. She does have a relic free Kugel here, as we can clearly see. The next shot seems to be after Hilda blocks Dimitri's attack, and Claude is flying away but still watching if Hilda is okay or not. And Claude is seen here with a signature white wyvern from his Barbarossa class in 3 Houses, which definitely makes me think that there's some kind of time skip in this game. Claude is seen here in this new outfit, but I'm not gonna lie, I miss my boy Claude's beard. I wish they gave him some kind of different facial hairstyle. But in any case, in his official art, he has got Crest of Gautier, and his fail knot, which seems like a mistake because even in the original concept art of fail knot and all of the other relics, Crest of Gautier is like a default crest, so you can see the same mistake in them as well. So because of that, we likely see the same mistake here in the official art of this game as well, and they may change this later on. We see Rhea in her Immaculate One form firing off her dragon breath, and it seems like her breath hits in the front of the door to cause the fire, but I suspect that this is a different shot because Rhea's dragon breath would likely be a lot more destructive than this. So I think that this is a different kind of shot where there's fire, in front of the door, and we see a character running towards the door with a fireball type of spell in their hand, and she seems to have a white dress and a cape from the looks. And that is actually a red-haired character running in this shot. This could be a new character, but this could also be Monica in her time skip version. Monica had a different hairstyle in Three Houses, and she did not really have the black earrings, and ironically, Kronia has short hair and wears earrings. But again, this is a different timeline, so things could have gone differently. And because this is a different storytelling, obviously not everything is going to be one-to-one from Three Houses. So I feel like in this timeline, things go differently with the involvement of Agarthans and those who slither in the dark. Monica von Ox was an actual student of Black Eagles who went missing before her graduation, a year before Three Houses takes place, and she was kidnapped and killed by those who slither in the dark so that Kronia could conveniently take her place and infiltrate Garreg Mach anytime. The real Monica might be alive in this timeline, and this is probably the result of her being alive in the time skip. We do actually see real Monica's father, Baron Ox, in Balthus' paralogue, where he's stressed about his daughter's safety and he tries to use a relic that he doesn't have a crest for, so he ends up transforming into a beast and then just dies. So this won't be the first time that they have tried to tell us more about Monica's background. So what we see in the events of Three Houses, Kronia is impersonating Monica, as Agarthans have quite a thing for impersonation. So in this timeline, Kronia probably never got the chance to do that. And here we see this character wearing the same black earrings which we see in Edelgard's new design, which is likely an earring that Black Eagle students wear in this timeline. So again, it is going to be hinting that this may actually be the real Monica from the Black Eagles, who maybe has a decent role in this game because she's shown in the very first trailer and for quite a while as well. If you notice, in Three Houses, Agarthans usually go after high value individuals who have important positions of power like Cornelia and Lord Arundel, for example. So maybe the real Monica has some kind of power through her crest or something like that, which initially made her the target. And since there might not be Agarthan impersonation at play here for our assumed Monica, it may be possible to see the real Cornelia and the real Lord Arundel maybe in this timeline. In this shot, we see Dimitri holding a lance and another hand on top of his hand, reassuring him. And this is likely Dudu's hand because we have seen retainer of other lords in Hubert and Hilda in this trailer, so it does make sense that Dudu is also here to support his liege. In the next couple of scenes, we see Edelgard and Claude just casually chatting, and then Dimitri and Claude teaming up, having each other's back.
We shall fight, we shall survive, and we shall win a glorious future for Fódlan.
And we probably refers to the three lords who all want to have glorious future for Fodlan, even though their methods are different, but in this timeline, they may be able to join the forces.
And now that I know, I won't make the same mistake again.
Claude says that he won't be making the same mistake again, which I find really interesting as to which mistake he's talking about. Maybe the mistake of not talking to his friends Edelgard and Dimitri and discussing his goals, or resolving the issues between them to finally make them team up for Fodlan's future. Again, this would be really interesting to know, and this all makes me believe that this is going to be the golden route where none of the lords die and they all team up, and this trailer heavily hints that, as we have seen so far. We do see a shot of Dimitri and Edelgard in conflict as Claude's arrow interrupts them. It's kind of funny to me that this scene reminds me of the Weather Trio cutscene from Pokemon Emerald where Rayquaza, aka Claude, stops the fight between Groudon and Kyogre of Three Houses, and it's just so perfect, and I'm sorry that you're not going to be able to unsee this after this. We then see Edelgard absolutely destroy Judith as her Crest of Flame activates, and they're probably fighting at the Great Bridge of Myrddin. Judith still has the same design as Three Houses, but here she might be playable hopefully. And if you pay attention to the heads up display here, Edelgard does not have the limited, axe icon for a special attack like Dimitri and Claude respectively have. We also see Dimitri destroy Randolph, so maybe even Ladislava might be in this game. And this is probably in the earlier stages of the game where Dimitri and Edelgard are still having the conflict, and Dimitri is seen here with 2 gauges. Dimitri dodges the attack of this demonic beast here, and then the demonic beast on the minimap are shown with the yellow color. Claude is then seen dodging the projectiles of this demonic beast on his wyvern, and it seems like they're fighting in the city of Deirdre, which is the capital city of the Leicester Alliance. As Claude is shooting down this beast, we see a brawler getting shot point blank by Claude's archer. So because brawlers are here, I would like to see Rhea beat up some foes with her bare fists to show us the high brawl ranking that she has in action. When Claude is mounted, he has got this gauge, but when he's dismounted, he no longer has that. So it's interesting how the mechanics might work here. We are shown some water bubbles and blue light here, which certainly reminds me of Shambhala, and how its floors also have these blue lines. It then transitions to Papa Geralt getting up, and like I said, this is a different story in a different timeline, so it's completely possible for him to not die here because Kronia might not have had the chance to impersonate Monica and infiltrate Garrick Mach. I hope he doesn't die, but then again, this is a Fire Emblem game, so maybe I should not have my expectations too high for his survival. Immaculate One is shown here with a very bright light on her head, likely getting hit by some kind of javelin of light of Agarthan's, or maybe she's firing one of her breaths. I'm not entirely too sure over here. And near the end of the trailer, we are shown female Byleth with bright green hair and green aura around her. So this is pretty much her enlightened form after Sothis has merged with her. She's fighting that purple-haired new character who's wielding 2 swords. And this character is also on the box art of this game, so likely they are a counter to Byleth, who's going to be giving her a tough time as an antagonist. One of their swords does have wings on them, so one of their swords might be a relic made by Agarthans, or maybe both of these swords could be one because these weapons are definitely strong, as you'll see. On the box art, we do see a new character standing opposite of Sothis, and this is likely a godlike entity because they are shown above all of the other characters, but still on the same level as Sothis, who is a goddess. So maybe this could be a god of Agarthans or a longtime enemy of Sothis. We could even have a situation of Ashera and Yune over here, and it's very likely that this godlike entity is supporting the purple-haired new character, just like Sothis supports Byleth and merges with her. The reason I say that is because when this purple-haired character breaks Byleth's sword, they have this purple aura around them, and they also have white marks on their face in that moment. It's worth noting that Byleth is obviously not using Sword of the Creator here, and she's using some other sword. The purple-haired rival of Byleth definitely seems extremely formidable to overpower her like this, because Byleth is known to be a seasoned mercenary, and even in this state, after merging with Sothis, even she is surprised how this enemy is going toe-to-toe with her and going so far as to break her weapon with their sheer power. The final dialogue in this trailer is by Sothis.
You seek revenge to slake your rage and heal your wounded heart. I know you are prepared to do whatever that you must.
The final dialogue in this trailer is by Sothis talking about revenge and how it's not a sin you take for someone else. And it could be that she's talking to Byleth about wanting to avenge Geralt, but to me that seems really predictable. So I think that she's probably talking to the other godlike entity who's likely very angry and is in conflict with Sothis, because here it doesn't even seem that Byleth is the one taking revenge. The purple-haired character is being super aggressive, breaking Byleth's sword and then having this kind of murderous intent in their eyes. We know that Agarthans and those who slither in the dark are like the main villains of Three Houses, so to me it does make sense that these new characters might be related to that. And these Agarthans were part of an ancient civilization who had to live underground because they hated Sothis, Sothis' children, and the humans who worshipped them. So the revenge dialogue of Sothis seems to be directed towards them and the one leading them, because this is not the first time that they're trying to take a revenge. In the Battle of Red Canyon, with Nemesis leading the army, they already tried to get their revenge by killing children of Sothis and by making these relics out of their bones. So they're known to be vengeful, so it would be really cool to know more about them, but again, they could just introduce like a new kind of enemy and make this different, because again, this is going to be a different story. This game is set to release on 24 June 2022, and will also have a special edition where you can get some cool and exclusive stuff like the art book, map of Fódlan, and some figurines. And Koei Tecmo is developing this game just like the last Warriors game, so it is possible that the main intelligence systems team is working on the two rumored Fire Emblem titles, where one of them is a remake and the other one might be a completely new game. So maybe there's more Fire Emblem this year in store for us. Let me know in the comments if you found any details which I missed in this trailer or I got them wrong. I would really love to discuss that in the comments, and make sure to share this breakdown video with all of your friends. And if you enjoyed, then make sure to leave a like, and if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks down below or by becoming a YouTube member. And subscribe for more Fire Emblem news coverage in future, and also be sure to hit the notification bell because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as the relic Amir in this trailer. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.